This is now the part 17 of the LEED V4 reference guide for homes design and construction online review. Again, all the pictures or images in this video are from Google and USGBC website. If you have comments, suggestions or complaints regarding the images, pictures or in this video itself, please email me at nelca_roco@yahoo.com, and I will immediately reply to you and take action on whatever the reason of your email. Thank you. Why I created this online reviewer. To help myself and others to pass the LEED AP exam in one shot. These are the LEED credit categories. On my previous video, we discussed the water efficiency credit 2, indoor water use. Now we will proceed to credit 3, the outdoor water use. Outdoor water use is the third credit under prescriptive path. It is possible for 4 points. Water efficiency credit. Outdoor water use. Intent. To reduce outdoor water consumption through efficient landscaping practices. This credit is possible for 4 points. Requirements. Reduce the landscape area planted to turf grass by landscaping with plants that are native or adapted to the region. Points are awarded according to Table 1. Table 1. Points for reducing turf grass and increasing native plantings, as percentage of total landscape area. Turf grass area. Native or adapted plant area. Equivalent points. 60% and greater than 25%. 1 point. 40% and greater than 50%. 2 points. 20% and greater than 75%. 3 points. 5% and greater than 75%. 4 points. Lists of native plants are maintained by the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center, the North American Native Plant Society, state agencies, and local cooperative extension service offices and others. Project with pools and other outdoor water features must use WE credit total water reduction. Behind the intent. Landscape irrigation uses large quantities of potable water, accounting for 30% of non-agricultural use in the U.S. Better landscaping can dramatically reduce and even eliminate the need for irrigation. Planting native and adapted species instead of turf grass, conventional monocultural lawns, can reduce maintenance, runoff, and fertilizer and pesticide applications. This credit requires the use of native and adapted drought-resistant plants and limits the use of turf grass. Step-by-step guidance. Step 1. Create initial landscape design. Work with a landscape professional or contact the local cooperative extension service office to learn about designing a landscape that is appropriate for the general climate and specific microclimate of the project site. Take an integrated approach to the choice of ground covers, herbaceous plants, shrubs, trees, and grasses and design the landscaping for maximum durability without watering or chemicals. Incorporate drought-resistant native or adapted plants when possible. See further explanation, native and adapted species. The use of native and adapted plants is an excellent approach because water conservation is built in, not dependent on high-tech equipment and controls. Conventional turf is defined as any turf that requires regular mowing, watering, and/or chemicals. See further explanation, conventional turf. Native grass mixes that do not require regular maintenance are not considered conventional turf. Drought-tolerant plants may not be appropriate for certain areas of the site. For example, in regions with consistent rainfall, it is appropriate to use moisture-loving plants at the bottom of slopes or in rain gardens. If the irrigation is necessary, zone the landscaping to use the optimal irrigation techniques for each type of vegetation. Use drip irrigation around plantings to minimize evaporation, evapotranspiration losses, and wasted water. Consider incorporating the following best practices into the design. 1. Choose plants that are appropriate for the specific features of the project site. Individual project sites and even portions of the same site may vary significantly in soil type, solar exposure, wind, and associated evaporation rates and moisture levels. Take into consideration both local and microclimate conditions when selecting plant materials. 2. Ground covers are a particularly good substitute for grass on sloped areas. Consider herbaceous and evergreen perennials and deciduous and coniferous shrubs. 3. Plant drought-tolerant native grasses where turf is necessary. Native grass mixes that provide many of the benefits of conventional turf without the drawbacks are available. 4. Avoid planting turf in sloped or shaded areas, since the tight roots of turf grass hinder infiltration of water from storm events. Step 2. Preliminary calculation to determine expected point achievement. This credit specifies minimum and maximum allowable areas of turf and native or adapted plants. The project must meet both the reduced turf grass area and the increased native or adapted plant area requirements to earn points. Calculate the areas on site that are planted with drought-tolerant native or adapted species at the appropriate density for the region. See further explanation, plant areas. Calculate the percentage of these areas with respect to the total softscape area on site. Percentage of native or adapted species equals native or adapted species area over total softscape area. Calculate the area of the site planted to turf grass. Calculate the percentage of these areas with respect to the total softscape area on site. Percentage of turf grass equals turf grass area over total softscape area. When determining the plant area for a native tree or shrub, calculate the total area under the canopy that is not covered by turf grass. The sum of native or adapted plant area plus turf grass area cannot exceed 100% of the total softscape area. Determine the total design landscape softscape area. Softscape includes the landscape area plus areas that are mulched or otherwise not planted but are not hardscape. Exclude any undisturbed portion of the lot, public right-of-way, area under roof, and hardscapes, such as walkways and driveways. Estimate the total design landscape softscape area planted with conventional turf. Calculate the area of drought-tolerant plants as a percentage of the total softscape area. Include only newly installed not existing plants, see further explanation, example. Refer to Table 1 to determine points earned. If more than 60% of the designed softscape area is conventional turf, or if less than 25% is landscaped with native or adapted plants, the project earns no points. Step 3. Refine design to meet desired point level. Create a plant list that includes all installed plants. Contact a local cooperative extension service specialist, landscape professional, arborist, plant biologist, or local native plant organization as necessary to answer questions, give suggestions, clarify your ideas, and confirm that the plant materials are appropriate for the climate and its weather extremes. Ensure that no invasive plants are installed. Place plants with similar preferences for water or shade in common zones. Step 4. Implement design. Monitor the landscape installer to ensure the planting plan is followed. Be diligent. Many drought-tolerant species have close relatives that may lack the desired characteristics. Weeds can overtake even a well-designed landscape. Because weeds grow rapidly and have big root systems, they can outcompete installed plants, particularly when water is scarce. Remove the weeds before and during landscaping so that the new plants will have sufficient water. Step 5. Calculate compliance based on final installed plantings. Redo the calculation from Step 2 based on the final installed plants, see further explanation, example. Conventional turf. Most conventional turf, lawn, is a monoculture with a shallow, tight root system that prevents it from effectively storing water. Heavy rainfall runs off rather than infiltrating the surface. Because it reduces the soil's capacity to store water, conventional turf requires irrigation. As a monoculture, conventional turf can encourage the overpopulation of certain insect species, leading to infestations. Turf also must be mowed, and homeowners with large lawns are likely to use power equipment, which generates air and noise pollution. Avoiding turf in shaded and sloped areas will reduce runoff, soil erosion and associated damage to nearby aquatic environments. Native and adapted species. Drought-tolerant native and adapted plants can create a self-sustaining landscape that requires little or no irrigation and attracts native wildlife, integrating the building site into its surroundings. Such plants also tend to require less fertilizer and fewer pesticide applications, decreasing the potential for contaminated stormwater runoff and other environmental harm. Since the provision and distribution of potable water are costly and energy-intensive, particularly during dry periods, designing landscaping that requires less potable water is sensible. Minimizing the need for irrigation during droughts also helps protect soil quality and regional water quality by reducing runoff of topsoil, pesticides, and fertilizers. The use of mixed native and adapted grasses, herbaceous plants, and woody shrubs and trees creates a more varied ecosystem while reducing long-term maintenance costs. Plant areas. The proper density and spacing of native and adapted plants depend on regional plant ecology. For example, the southern Appalachian Mountains has a higher plant density than the desert Southwest, where plants grow relatively far apart. To count toward this credit, planting densities must be greater than or equal to what is naturally present in the project region. Consult landscape professionals to determine the region's natural density of plants. Example: a project site is 0.16 acre, and the home footprint is 1,404 square feet. The planting zone areas are summarized in Table 1. This project has 13.5% turf grass and 82.9% native plants with the appropriate regional density and spacing. According to Table 1, this project is eligible for 3 points, provided a visual inspection and review of documentation confirms the use of native species. Figure 1. Example project. Illustration by Terrell Broyles. Table 2. Example calculation of plant areas. Planting zone. Area, square foot, percentage of total. Turf grass, 749 square feet 13.5%. Native ground cover, 811 square feet 14.6%. Native shrubs and trees, 3,802 square feet 68.3%. Mulched area, 203 square feet 3.6%. Total softscape, 5,565 square feet 100.0%. Native landscape, 4,613 square feet 82.9%. Related credit tips. We credit total water use. The credit involves indoor and outdoor water, and total water savings, including any savings from irrigation, are determined with the help of a water use calculator. EA credit building orientation for passive solar. Native or adapted trees can increase the albedo of dark surfaces and hardscapes and shade south-facing fenestration while providing habitat and reducing reliance on turf grass. SS credit heat island reduction. Same as above. Changes from LEED for homes 2008. This credit combines the former SS2 landscaping, 2.3 limit conventional turf and 2.4 drought-tolerant plants. Contract language recommendations. Landscaper, do not install plants listed as invasive by the local cooperative extension service or other reputable resource. Choose and install only regionally native, adapted, or drought-tolerant plants, and provide documentation. Technical resources. Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center. www.wildflower.org. North American Native Plant Society. www.nancs.org. State Plant Regulatory Agencies and Noxious Weed Coordinators. www.nancs.ust.mil web link. Ustico Operative Extension Service. www.xres.usda.gov web link. Exemplary performance. Not available. Verification and submittals. Supporting verification materials, made available by the project team. Provide list of plants in landscape plan. Calculate turf grass area, native or adapted plant area, and total landscaped area. Verification team. For all native or adapted plants, Compare list of installed plants with list of regional native and adapted plants created by third-party entity, for example, Cooperative Extension Service. Conduct on-site verification that area calculations match what was installed. Glossary. Potable water. Water that meets or exceeds U.S. Environmental Protection Agency drinking water quality standards, or a local equivalent outside the U.S., and is approved for human consumption by the state or local authorities having jurisdiction. It may be supplied from wells or municipal water systems. Evapotranspiration. The combination of evaporation and plant transpiration into the atmosphere. Evaporation occurs when liquid water from soil, plant surfaces, or water bodies becomes vapor. Transpiration is the movement of water through a plant and the subsequent loss of water vapor. Infiltration. HVAC, uncontrolled inward air leakage to conditioned spaces through unintentional openings in ceilings, floors, and walls from unconditioned spaces or the outdoors caused by the same pressure differences that induce exfiltration. ASHRAE 62.1 to 2010. Density. A measure of the total building floor area or dwelling units on a parcel of land relative to the buildable land of that parcel. Units for measuring density may differ according to credit requirements. Does not include structured parking. Softscape. The elements of a landscape that consist of live, horticultural elements. Hardscape. The inanimate elements of the building landscaping. It includes pavement, roadways, stone walls, wood and synthetic decking, concrete paths and sidewalks, and concrete, brick, and tile patios. Thank you for watching. Watch for the next video. LEED V4 Homes, Energy and Atmosphere Prerequisite 1. Minimum Energy Performance. If you wish to get the PDF or PowerPoint copy of this presentation for free, please click the link below or email me at nelca_roco@yahoo.com.